So here we are with NordicLegacy. Take a look at this replay you sent me, and from your post, sound like you're kind of hovering in Plat 3. Okay, and this is a 3v3 game. So I'll try and give you some tips, hopefully help you break into Diamond and take your game to the next level here. So let's get started. Okay, so going for the boost. That's all good. So right off the bat, let me just point out something here real quick. So first off, you've kind of killed all of your momentum by grabbing this boost. I would have liked to see you grab the boost without doing this turn, because when you make that turn, you're killing all of the momentum, and it might not seem important, but momentum is actually one of the most important things about Rocket League. So when you have momentum, when you're going fast, when you have speed in any direction, you can get to the ball faster. When you have no speed, you have to build up that momentum by using boost, by accelerating, and that'll put you behind in scenarios where you're trying to get to the ball quickly, but you might not be close. But if you have speed, you can still get to the ball in time to make a play. On the kickoff, not as, might not matter, but just something to keep in mind. You always want to try and keep your momentum. Even if it ends up that you have to flip into this boost and go up the wall and then turn around, it's still better than doing this turn where you've completely lost all of your speed. So now you're trying to get to this ball, but you don't have any speed, so you're not going to get there in time. Also, your teammate, who's to the left of you, is also going for this ball. So when you see your teammate in the side of your screen also going for the ball, I would just immediately back off, because you're going to be double committing on this ball, and if it doesn't go your way, no one is going to be back to make the save, because as you can see, the Kadub bruh guy is upfield and he's not going to be able to get back. So I would have turned away from this ball and gotten ready to take a defensive position. So as you can see, the ball does not go your way, and now no one is in position. Luckily, your teammate is able to get back quickly and take this ball, but they both miss, so now it's up to you. Nice touch there. You're able to beat one defender. Unfortunately, we can't finish it off. If we had a little bit better awareness, we might have been able to make a goal out of that. So at this point, I would turn off ball cam and look to see where that last defender is, and then if you were able to see him, you might have been able to bump him before he was able to hit that ball. So just some awareness there. Could have been a goal for you. At this point, I would turn on ball cam just to see what's happening in the play. You already know that you're going to go and get that side boost, and you're already basically on path to drive into it. So once you have that established, it's good to just kind of check and see what's going on in the play and where you should be going to next. So at this point, you see that the ball is still in their corner, but if you had turned on ball cam a little bit earlier, you could have been in a position to, instead of flipping through that boost and going back to your half, you could have turned and been in a better position to make a play. But now you're so far away that you can't really do anything here, so you just kind of have to wait for them to get control of the ball and bring it to your half, which is what happens here. In this situation, I wouldn't be attacking, so once you're back here, since you flipped away from the play by taking that boost, there's nothing you can do in this play now, so instead of turning and boosting straight at the ball, you want to kind of be a little bit more wary, because you want to be ready for a clear coming downfield. You don't want to commit too hard since you're last man back. And so now you see this Regio guy coming at the ball. So now you should definitely turn away and get ready to play off of his touch, because both of your teammates are committed upfield. So it's up to you to buy them time to get back. But as you see, we come up a little bit too far and we aren't ready for this touch that Rujo makes. So we have to back off. Now this is a really awkward scenario because no one is back and it's kind of unclear where people are in the rotation. So it looks like you're going to have to make a touch here on this ball. Valiant attempt. Luckily the shot is off and you had a teammate in net, so this is fine. Okay, your teammate rotates into net for some reason, so you can go and take this ball. Yeah, I don't really like what your teammate did here. What is his name? This guy. So if we take a look at this real quick. So he rotates into net. Okay, the ball goes out. Then he wants to go, but he doesn't have any momentum in that direction, so he turns out again. But what he should have done is recognize that he sees his teammate going for the ball. He knows that his teammate's going to get a touch out, most likely, so he can kind of stay close by and be in this play, but he rotates into net. He should have rotated towards the corner and been able to follow up on whatever touch this guy had. And then at that point, he should have recognized that you were already going for the ball, so he didn't need to come out of net. He should have just let you do your thing, but it happens. So now it's up to you to recognize that your teammate is going for that ball. And that was good. You just were able to rotate out, recognizing your teammate was already on that ball. So good play there. This is kind of awkward. You've got one guy coming in. You're kind of far away from the ball. At this point, I would just probably do my best at taking up a defensive position and hope that one of my teammates in the corner can clear the ball. And they try. It works out okay. At that point, yeah, so you could have gone for that ball, but you were a little bit too hesitant. It also would have been fine to just stay in net. Like, it's technically your ball to go for, but you don't really know if one of your teammates is going to turn on that because they're already in the corner. If you can be pretty certain that they're rotating out, then you can just go. But if not, then you're the last defender and you got to be cautious. So it's a tough call. But once you make that decision to go, see, you're already coming out of net. Once you're already coming out of net, you have to go for that ball. You can't do what you did here and back up because that confuses your teammates and it puts you out of position because both of your teammates are rotating back. They're expecting you to go for this ball. So by backing up, you're kind of throttling the rotation and it's kind of causing some confusion. Okay, so that's fine. So now because you were too hesitant and you're just kind of sitting there, ends up being a double commit on this ball because your teammates don't really know what you're doing. Okay, so hopefully teammates are able to deal with that. I like this rotation that you did here. Not a lot of people would do this, but you actually rotated to the far post, which is good. Not cluttering up the play too much, being able to just kind of see what is going on, and then when it's your turn you can kind of come in and make a play, or you come in as second man. So good job with that. I see you jumping here, which is suspicious. So I would not have gone for that ball. You're coming in as second man here. Your teammate is pretty clearly trying to get a play. I would just be in a position to back him up. You know, you can see both of the defenders backed off here. So there's really no reason to hit this ball. All this hit is going to do is hit it to the other team, and they're going to get a counterattack. So you just need to recognize that your teammate has control of the ball. He's just kind of waiting for it to come down, and since the other team backed off, there's no reason to force a play on this this early. So because of that, he backs off, and now you just have one guy back. Okay, he backs off too. So, but you kind of see how you've given away possession of the ball to the other team by making that touch, whereas you could have just left it for your teammate to take control. Alright, good little clear there. I would have liked to see you take your time with this ball. After you make this clear, the entire enemy team is off to the left side of your screen, so no one is going to come screaming in challenging this ball. You have time to take control of this ball and grab that side boost, and then you can make your play with 100 boost instead of 5 boost. Instead, you kind of rush the play and miss the ball, and that ends up in a possession for the other team. Trying to get back here. So that was okay. You could have probably slowed down a little bit here, just kind of see what's happening with this ball, because that guy almost had a shot. Yeah, you see your teammate coming into net, and he's gonna be the next guy to get a touch, the next guy to get a play on this ball. So let your teammate try and get a play. It doesn't look like he is, because he just kind of flipped across the net, but just kind of have some caution and be kind of on the far post and ready to make a save or follow up on this chaos here. Because that touch that he makes off the wall is not going towards the net, it's just going across the net. So if you had waited for that, you might have been able to take possession of that ball a little easier, but now it's a little bit farther away. You're still able to get to it first, but it makes it a little harder to get a play. But that was a good 50 there. Again, I would have liked more ball cam. So when you're rotating back, you can turn ball cam on here. If you're trying to take this small pads, that's what I would do in this situation. Just take those two and maybe a third small pad on your rotation back and take a right turn there and get back into play. But you can, if you know where the pads are well enough, you can keep ball cam on and see what's happening while still also collecting boost. But actually you go for the corner boost here, which is probably a misplay. You don't really need that corner boost. You already have 27 boost. If you just pick up those 3 small pads you can see in the middle of the screen, that gives you 36 boost, and that's plenty of boost to go and get involved in this play. But instead you're putting yourself too far away to do anything, whereas here you could have been up and being able to hit that ball. But now the enemy team is probably going to touch, like so. Yeah, here you just need to recognize your teammate is already up for this ball. When you back up like that, if you had just immediately gone for that aerial, it would have been fine, but since you did that little backwards kind of shuffle, I would not have gone for that ball, like right there. If you had gone for it before driving backwards, that would have been fine, but after doing that, you gotta let somebody else take that. And again, that comes back to momentum, so you don't want to kill your momentum. When you do that little forward, backward kind of shuffle thing, that basically kills all your momentum, and then it's going to make it really hard for you to get a play on the ball. So your teammate has kind of a crappy touch. Okay, so we're back, it's fine. And we're going for this ball. Enemy teams both miss. Teammate centers it to no one, unfortunately. Would have been a goal, probably. If you had recognized that your teammate was probably going to touch that ball, you could have reacted a little better and made that kind of slowed down and made that turn out to the middle to receive that pass, but kind of hard to predict that that was going to happen. You know, you kind of wanted him to leave it and he wanted to touch it, so it happens. So now we take this to the corner. So that's fine. Now we want to get back because both our teammates are committed. Try and get some boost. This is kind of awkward. Really good save there. It would have been a little easier if you had managed the boost a little better. So on your way back here, instead of just kind of flipping haphazardly here, what you can do is, let me see if I can like do this here. So you're flipping back. You're on a trajectory where you could take these 3 middle boosts here straight down the line, or since you were on this side, you could have gone in an arc and taken some of these small pads here. And again, you could get like 36 boosts just from 3 of these pads, and then you would be in a lot easier time of making that save rather than having like no boost. And again, with the power slide turn, now you have no momentum, so any save you have to make is going to be that much harder because you're going to have to use a bunch of boost to get up to the ball. Whereas if you had a little bit of momentum, or if you were in a position a little bit more sideways to the net, you can have an easier time of making that save. Because the opponent's smart, he kind of took it more to the left side because he saw you were already out on kind of in the net, whereas if you were more on the sideline, you would be able to cover that part of the net to your left better. So he gets a decent flick, but make a nice save and take this ball. So that was not a bad 50. We have no boosts. Pick up that pad. I would just keep this ball directly in front of your car instead of going to the right side like that. You want to try and probably get a neutral 50 here since you don't have any boost. Anything else, you'll probably the ball end up going to your half because you kind of see how it's positioned. This ball is definitely probably going towards your half, whereas if you had stayed directly behind the ball, you could have gotten a neutral 50 and then a teammate could have came in and cleaned that up. But it goes back. Luckily you've got somebody back there to make that touch. Okay, so this is kind of awkward. I would not have gone into net here. There's no one immediately pressuring this ball, so it's pretty safe for you to go out and take that ball up the wall. Now, if you're not confident with your wall abilities, this is perfectly fine. But as you get more comfortable on the wall, you could definitely go up and take control of that ball, and then your teammates can rotate in behind you. But by doing this play, you're kind of signaling to your teammates that you're not going for this ball. So one of them is probably going to go for it. Like that guy just turns, and now he's taking it. So good on him to recognize where you were positioned. But with the boost you had, it's kind of difficult to get a save here. So that ends up being a goal. So if you had just come out, if you had just gone for this ball on the wall, everything probably would have been fine. Because by rotating back into the net here, you're kind of messing up your teammate's rotation, because he was going to come in and probably rotate behind you. But because you cut it off kind of by not going for this ball, kind of messed up the rotation. Another reason you want to go for that ball is because you only have 12 boost. So when you're low on boost, ideally you want to be close to the ball, because there's nothing else you can really do. If you don't have much boost, it's really hard to get a save. Technically you can make pretty much any save with like 12 boost, but it's not an ideal situation to be in. It's much better to get a neutral 50 on the ball and then go get boost while your teammates take care of things. But by forcing this net position, it's making an awkward time for you. And unfortunately your teammate misses that, but it's also kind of on you on that one. But still 2.5 minutes left, anybody's game at this point. I'm questioning this this sequence of events here. So after the kickoff, I would not have flipped there. I would have just kind of stayed, because the ball is so far away from you that even if you're going supersonic, Tyler back there is going to almost certainly have a clear or a touch of some kind. And so right now you're just a little bit too far upfield. You want to be kind of waiting for his Tyler's touch and be able to play off his touch. And also you see your teammate to the right doing the same thing as you. So right now you're on trajectory to double commit on this ball, which is exactly what happens, and there's no one back yet, so hopefully this guy can make the save, which he does. Okay, good save. Kind of an awkward position to be in because your teammate went for that. It's definitely a scary scenario. But obviously this was your ball to take. You definitely, if you're what's his name? Kadabra. Yeah, if you're Kadabra, you definitely don't want to be cutting off your teammate like that. Recognize they're in position to make that save. But now he's upfield, so he can take that ball, so it works out. So this, yeah, that's fine. Ideally, you'd be able to make a little better play here. If you're a little more confident in your aerials, you could potentially go up for this and maybe get like a center of some kind. And yeah, recognizing that this guy is also probably going for the ball. So you can see, it's actually not the guy I thought it was. I thought it was Rucho, but anyway, I think you kind of get the point. If you can get to that ball a little bit faster, you could have made a better play. Again, I'd like to see just a little bit quicker on the ball cam. You want to know what's going on almost all the time. Being able to know where the boost pads are, what routes to take so you can get a little bit of boost on your way back while still watching the play is important. Now, you went back really far here. If you'll notice, your teammate is kind of going into that back right corner. So if you see him rotating out that far, you could have been like midfield and taken a left turn to get back into play. Might have been cutting off your teammate, but sometimes you have to because they're so far away from the play. Generally, it's a bad idea, but in this situation, since your teammate is going all the way back, you could have potentially rotated in front here and made a play. But now you can see your teammate to the right. You're kind of both playing the same role right now. It's like, which one of you is going for the ball? Because we both went all the way back and now somebody has to go for it. I don't know where your teammate is here, but I would assume they're probably like right behind you. Yeah, so he probably saw that you were going for this ball. He was going to go for it, and then he backed up. For some reason, I thought maybe he saw you, but it looked like he just kind of backed up for no reason. So, regardless, we are now making a play, but couldn't get to it in time. Teammate makes the save. That was pretty good center. Yeah, this is fine. We can go all the way back here, take our time with this ball. That's fine. This rotation's also fine. Normally, there would be somebody ready to take this ball, but I don't think there was anybody. Yeah, I would probably have gone back post instead of challenging this ball, because you already had a teammate, I believe, coming back. Oh, he was upfield. Let me see here. So you got somebody in net, so he comes out, and now your teammate that was upfield should be on the back here. Yes. So what you should be doing is rotating in behind this guy, most likely. So once you make that play, you were first man on the ball, and now you should rotate to third man, assuming that your second man is ready to take that, which he is. So instead of flipping towards this play, you should be rotating in behind this guy on the wall. But luckily, he does not come up for that, so everything's fine. Okay. Good awareness there of where this ball was going. Being able to follow up on this. That's fine. I probably... If you want to go for that, you could have been a little faster getting to this ball and immediately just take it up the wall. But we took a little bit wider of a turn than was necessary. You could have gone straight at that ball right there and you would have beat him. But since you were turning and you weren't on a direct path to the ball, it resulted in a 50. So your teammates are confused in net. Hopefully, okay, so he's going. Yeah, so that all just kind of resulted from your teammates in net. Let me see what they were doing. So this guy is back here. They both go for this ball. He goes for this ball. Yeah, that's probably on this guy, because he needs to recognize that the other guy was probably also in net, so he should have gone for this ball. Somebody just had to take the initiative and go for this ball, but since they're both in net, and I don't know what he's doing now. He's like backing up the ceiling. Yeah. So not really your fault, but we could have probably made that save. Start rotating back. Yeah, it's hard to predict that, but if we had stayed far post, so we're making this far post rotation, recognize that your teammate's already near post, so there's no need to rotate into net further. We can just kind of hang out in the corner on the side of this post here. So we just came in a little bit too far, and then we couldn't get the save. So you see this guy charging in for a shot, so at that point you should get ready to make that save. But the reaction was just a little bit delayed. That's fine. Still a minute left. That's not a great kickoff. I mean, it went in our favor, but typically you want to conserve a little bit of boost. So if you boost a little bit first, and then like flip into the ball, or just do a forward flip here, and then you'll be able to use less boost while still getting some of that momentum. So accelerate boost here. Once you get this boost, do a forward flip, and then do like a side flip in the middle of this ball. That way you don't have 0 boost, and you'll have like 13 boost to be able to potentially hit this ball towards the net or do something, or just rotate out quicker. But since you don't have any boost, you can't hit that ball. So now we gotta go back anyway. So here I would rotate far post, just because this is a plat game, so you're probably not going to get a pass. Like, this guy's probably not going to come out of the net to pass to you on the wall or something like that. So you probably just go far post and let this RXT guy take care of it. So eventually you do rotate far post, but it took a little bit too long for you to make that decision. And they're not really sure if you're trying to make a play here or not until you finally turn away. And then it just makes that transition a little awkward. Okay, so your teammate's already going for this ball, so you should not be coming out of net for this ball. So your teammate should be going for this ball, but they're not. So now we're going for the ball. So that's fine. Okay. So this flip is not good. What you want to do here is, after this touch, you should be able to see this Cuban guy, and you should be able to see that he's getting a touch, and we kind of flip right as that's happening, so it puts us in a really awkward position. Whereas if we had waited for that touch, we could get a clear towards their half. Good job recognizing that your teammate is already on this ball and not trying to turn in on it. Just let him go for it. That was a good play. Now we're in position to make this save. And if we had gotten a little bit more power on that hit, it could have resulted in a goal because they double committed for that. So to get a little bit more power, what you can do is, right here it looks like you hit the ball with your wheels. So when you hit the ball with your wheels, it kind of doesn't go anywhere. You don't get any power. What you want to do is hit it with the nose of your car. So if you were a little bit lower, if you were like in the middle of the ball, and then you flipped, if your angle was a little bit lower, you probably would have hit it with the nose of your car, or if your car itself was a little bit lower. It was just really close, and it ended up hitting the wheels instead of the nose of the car. So that's why we didn't get any power on it. And then we're boosting. Instead of boosting, you have to remake this touch. You see that, I guess it's kind of close, but if you can tell that he's going to get there before you, you can stop boosting. Just conserve some of that boost so that you can hit this ball before that guy. So this is kind of awkward because we have 0 boosts. I don't like this power slide turn into net. This is a terrible defensive position because, I mean, if the ball has any speed rolling out from the corner, you're not going to be able to hit it because of where you're positioned. Like, all you can do is drive straight. So ideally, if you're going to go into net here, you can just kind of chill far post, like right here, be closer to the wall. Granted, you have 0 boost, so I'd rather be a little closer to the ball, so like come out here, be a little more confident, get like a touch on the ball here maybe, which granted is kind of risky because you're the last man, but as long as you get a touch out, you should be able to pick up at least a couple pads, and then you can circle back. But because you're in this position, you have to make an awkward save. Almost results in a goal against you. Yeah, I guess this is a fine. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, so in the last final seconds here, I would have probably just kind of hung out far post again and let your teammate go for this ball, rather than being in the near post, just in case something ends up coming like over the backboard or something like that. Then you can go up the wall and get a clear. Yeah, and that's it. So hopefully that made sense. I know I had a lot of comments in there, especially in the beginning. If you have any questions about anything I said, or if something doesn't make sense, like what's near post, far post, like what do you mean by this, definitely just shoot me a message. I'll be happy to clarify things a little further. Overall, I'd say your rotations were pretty solid for your rank. I would just be aware that anytime you are doing any sort of rotation, it's not like a fixed thing. Like, it's not like a fixed position. Like, you don't want to say, oh, I gotta rotate to far post or whatever. You want to be aware of what is going on in the play, and so you're kind of rotating to like general area, but you also have to take into account what your teammates are doing, what the enemy cars are doing, and kind of adjust based on that. I think overall, I don't really remember a lot of the stuff I said, to be honest. I have to go and like watch this again and send you a message. There were definitely some points where your teammates could shine a little better, but I think there were a few parts where we were going for the ball where we really didn't need to. So I think something you could work on is being a little bit more aware of your like your teammates' positioning, the enemy's positioning, being able to tell if there's a clear coming, and that'll help you be able to read the game a little bit better and make better touches. But overall, I mean, a lot of your positioning and things you were doing were pretty solid, rotating far post and all of that. I think you could definitely work on your mechanics a little bit more, and be able to get better touches on the ball, be able to get better clears on the ball. I think would really help you. Being able to get like a power shot off of a bounce and keeping that ball in the opponent's half is something that you could work on. So I think that's it. If you have any questions, definitely let me know, and hopefully this was helpful. Thanks. Bye-bye.